So let's continue working on the websites through the testimonial section. So the testimonial section is the section of our websites where we're going to be showing real use cases and real users. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this down a bit here to give ourselves a bit more space to work with. Now, regarding the testimonial section, again, since it's a section on itself, I'm just going to duplicate this part. Here, I'm going to write a headline, right? So I'm just going to say supporting you through difficult times. Okay. So now we will go here, we'll select the serif variation of the font. We would also go here and change it to purple, doing the same thing we've been doing all throughout. And let's actually, I'm just gonna copy some text here and I'm gonna use it here. Okay. The get started would be, obviously would be here. Notice here that we have the get started and watch video here. This is not showing up for some reason. Okay, maybe this should be, okay, the selection should be black, obviously. Okay. Yeah. So notice how we are using our call to actions, right? Every section has a get started, meaning when, or the way you have to think of it is that whichever section the user is on, the user could make a decision to buy into the product that moment. So you would want to have a clear and concise option right there for you to provide the user whenever the user decides, I'm sold, I want to buy this product, and you always have to make a button available for the user. Okay, so now continuing on, we would need our testimony, one of our testimony here. So I'm just gonna drag this in here and you see how useful our components are right now. So for some reason, okay, so for some reason, most of this stuff have become invisible. So we're just gonna change the white to black. Okay, not that's okay. Not here, actually here for me. Here it should be black, and here should be black too. For some reason it just disappeared. I don't know why. Yeah. Let's actually reset this. So reset instance, and we're gonna change this back to watch video. Or we can say watch explainer, actually. And here we have this currently. And now we wanna not only show one user, but we also want to describe what exactly the software did for the user, right? So we're going to be using here an accordion. An accordion is basically a section of a part of or an element of a website, a UI element, where you click on one selection to reveal its content and to remove the contents of the other. So let's just build it, and I think that will make it more clear. We start from numbering, right? So we would have 3 items, I think. So let's start from numbering it. We can go here and use our serif fonts here just to make it more interesting, more visible. We're gonna use the large serif one. Let's continue with the feature, right? So guided account management will be the feature. And here we want this to be simply 16 pixel, and we don't have it on regular. Okay, let's have one on regular, right? So okay, since we don't have it, we want a 16 pixel regular one, and we're gonna add this sort of style, so sans, medium, regular. Okay, obviously if we do that, we have to go back here to branded systems. And let's go down. Serif medium semi-bold. Let's duplicate it. Here, this will be serif medium regular. And let's change it to be regular actually here. Okay, great. Now let's just take these two here. And I want a smaller size for this. So let's actually just go down a bit here from 64. We want to go down to 48 maybe. 48 by 48 here. Okay, 48 looks nice. So we'll have this as serif. Not here, but we're gonna write it here. Serif. This is medium large for the serif. And it's gonna be regular. No, it's gonna be italic. Okay, we're gonna go back to brand and styles. And let's just take this medium large here. Serif, medium large, and italic. Very basically here, and we would change it, right? So obviously there is quite a big difference here, but I don't really intend to use a smaller serif font than this, so there's not much of an issue. We can actually even adjust it. I think it's better to adjust it. You can give this auto and give this 32. Yeah, I think that's better. Even I think we can give this 32. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Now I want to make this our accent color here. So that's great. This doesn't have to be a high visual hierarchy element. We've talked about that. You don't need everything to be a high visual hierarchy element. This is just supporting. It doesn't matter if the user knows this is the first one or the second one. It just matters that the important content is there. Okay, moving on. We're gonna have to create some icons here to be able to use for our drop down, right? So I'm just going to copy this here, this icon. We're going to be using it. So I'm going to go to assets, and for under icons here, I'm just going to paste this in. Let's make this side by side. I'm going to paste this in as the drop down icon. Drop down. So this will be the drop down icon. We can actually say icon here too. Let's make it into components. For some reason, making it into components mess it up. Fixed widths by fixed widths. Should okay. Let's just remove this. Okay, yeah. Now we can copy it and go back to designs. And we can just paste it in here. Now we want to have this in a frame. This will be the call to action for the selection here. No gap at all. Just some 24 by 24. No padding. Central align this. We're just gonna give it a fill here of the color and make this selection here white. Also, we want to make it circle, so 999. Maybe this is a bit too big. So 16 by 16. 16 here actually. Maybe increase it just a bit to 20. That looks nice. Now I wanna flip this horizontally. Vertically actually. So it's gonna be when we click it, it should retract up and not go down. Okay, so I'm gonna take these two elements here. I group them into around 16 pixels here. I'm gonna call this the content, and together with this would be the selection, right? So this would be accordion item. So this is one of the items we're gonna have. The item will have some padding here, and auto gap, white fill, and finally it would have stroke and a pixel corner radius. very simple again, very simple. So we want to just duplicate this, but instead of that, let's make a component, right? So it's very much worth it to make this component. Control Shift R here, and it's going to be accordion items here, items. Now here we want to make this into a component, and we also want to create a variant for it. This is opened, so this is for the open selection, and this is closed. Now here we want to go in, and let's first of all let's change this stroke into purple color as we've been doing throughout. Also we want to give this some auto layout just to make it better position, 32 by 32. The gap of 32 here. Okay, great. Now this variant, it's going to be very simple. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to first go in here and flip it vertically back. And we're going to go here and we're going to indicate that it's not the current selection by just going here white. Going to get the selection, go black here. And finally, we're going to go here and give it a stroke to separate it from the background, stroke of gray 800. And that's it. Let's say text here. Text here again. And yeah, that's it. Now we have to just copy this. Control Shift R. I'm just gonna paste in from the clipboard. I'm gonna paste in this here. And we have our first one, right? So then let's just duplicate it a couple of times here. 1, 2. Let's just take these elements, make them a bit wider. And let's just make them much closer to each other using 16 pixels. This will be accordion. 16 actually is too big. We have to go 8 since they are pretty much very much connected. Let's give them different texts here. 02, 03 here. This would be bare filament. I don't know how to spell this, how to pronounce this word. Bereavement, I think. Checklist and legacy. So these are the features offered to this person that's made the person like the software, right? So memory preservation, and we're done. Okay, so obviously we want these two here to be deselected or closed. Then we want to go in and we want to add the actual open content for this one. And this is very simple actually. It's just some text here. Let me just actually copy the text. Let me the text, 14 pixels. Again, 40 pixels here, and a grayish color. We're just gonna have to give this a container here. This container would be description, right? So it's gonna be the description for the open item. No cap since there's no real other elements. 16 by 16. And we're just gonna take this inside here. Just gonna cut it and paste it in. Place it here. Let's just make this hot content. And let's just go in and give this a background here. Just to distinguish it. I'm gonna go with a white background maybe. And let's give it some height here, just in case there's more content. Also, we would want to be consistent, right? So let's give it a pixel corner radius and our gray stroke. And here is the service done for this person. Let me just decrease the size here just a bit. Now we're almost done here. We just have to group some items here. This is the content of the section, or the main, you can say. We also, actually, let's decrease this too big. let's just go around 24 or 32 maybe. Pixel gap, maybe 64. Yeah, and central align it. We can either do this, this, mm, uh, could we do this maybe? I think I like this layout here. Pretty much like this layout. So I'm just gonna have it like this for now. And let's decrease this to 32. Okay, great. So now what I want to do here is want to go and group it with the header and name this testimonials. So this is the testimonials section, right? Obviously, let's move it down here. We're having it in the order. Notice when we build, we have this grid lines here to separate from the ends, and we are keeping within it every time except for here, obviously. That's just basically because it's a carousel animated item which moves from left to right or right to left. But except for that exception, we are keeping within it. So here we want 48 pixels, right? So just keeping consistent with everything that's happening so far. And we want to give this 96 pixels again, just being consistent. So your design will be professional as consistent as it is. So if you use different colors for each section, different fonts and different spacings, it will feel bad. But if you have a clear system of consistent design styles, it would be much more professional and it will look much better. Uh, so that's it for today's uh, video here. Uh, we're going to be working on the pricing section next up, and we're going to be finishing the desktop design with the footer after that.